and welcome to my channel. Today we are making these cheese danishes on crescent dough. This is such an easy recipe and it's perfect for the holidays like Thanksgiving and Christmas. I know I always have the crescent dough on hand and it's only a few other ingredients that we're bringing into this recipe. So let's get started. The first thing we want to do is get our oven preheated to 350 degrees. Okay, so we're gonna make our filling for our cheese danishes. This is just a really simple cream cheese mixture, but we are gonna use the yolk from an egg. So we're gonna separate our egg white from our yolk. Just wanna do this nice and easy. I make egg whites all the time for my kids, so I'm like pretty good at this. And then just pop that yolk in a separate bowl. Okay, so we have our egg yolk, which is gonna go into our filling, and then we have our egg white. We're gonna use this for an egg wash just so we can brush it all around the outside of the crust and it'll just create like a really nice, shiny goodness. We're gonna add in just about a tablespoon of water. And then you're just gonna whisk this up and we're gonna set it aside. I like to just leave the whisk in there just because then I can hit it one more time with the whisk before I actually brush it onto our pastries. Okay, so the first thing for our filling, we've got 8 ounces of softened cream cheese. This is just regular cream cheese. Don't use low fat or any of that other stuff. You need the full fat for this guy. And you wanna let it be softened. You guys don't leave me bad reviews if you don't let your cream cheese soften. You need to let this sit on the countertop for like an hour before you actually start this recipe. Nobody likes to hear that, but it's the truth. Okay, and then we're just gonna plop this right into our stand mixer. You can also just use a large bowl with a hand mixer, but we do need a machine in this recipe. Get it nice and smooth. Beat the cream cheese until it's nice and soft. Then you're gonna add in a 1/4 cup of granulated sugar. You wanna mix this until it's nice and combined and make sure to scrape down the sides as you need to. Next, we're gonna add in our egg yolk. This is just gonna make it nice and velvety. And you just wanna mix this at low speed. And we're gonna put in a teaspoon of vanilla extract. Our filling is all ready. Just make sure to really like go around the bowl and get all this stuff because cream cheese loves to stick around there, so does the vanilla. And this is gonna be all done. We're just gonna get our little pastry doughs ready now with our crescent rolls. Now for the fun part, we're gonna get started on our pastry dough. One of my favorite things to have is some cinnamon and sugar on there. So we're just gonna mix about a tablespoon of sugar, just this white granulated sugar, with just a teaspoon of ground cinnamon. And just mix that up. You can use your hand, whatever you want to do. For this recipe, we're gonna be using 2 crescent dough sheets. I bought the rolls because I got a giant package from Costco and that's just what they had, which I'm gonna show you guys how to handle that, which is, it's not a big deal. You just have to seal those perforations a little bit. And each one of these are gonna make 4 danishes. So if you wanna just do 4, you can always just cut the recipe in half. It's really easy. This guy has a bunch of holes in it, so that's gonna be fun to deal with. When you're using the crescent rolls and they have these little perforations, you're just gonna either just pinch them together just like this, and it's gonna look just like a dough sheet, or you can just take the rolling pin and just really gently just give it a nice, that wasn't very gentle. Give it a nice little roll just to get all those perforations closed. And the best way to do it is to put it on parchment paper so it doesn't stick. And we basically have a dough sheet. It's a little uglier than a dough sheet, but it is a dough sheet. Now I have the rectangle on the parchment paper looking at me. I'm gonna cut it into 4 pieces. Okay, then we're gonna take a piece and we're just gonna roll it towards us. Act like you have like filling inside of it, even though there isn't any. Nice and tight, and then if there's any like broken lines or anything, just use your fingers to pinch it together. Then you're gonna take this and twist it. Okay, so we have just like a little bit of a twist there. And you're gonna take it and just twirl it around like a little snake. Just push that side together and then you're gonna flatten this inside center. That's where our filling is gonna go. You can kind of like expand it a little bit, but you wanna make sure that there's no holes so the filling doesn't just like seep out. Just like that. These are so cute. They're really fun to make once you start working on them. Once you get a hang of it. I guess you should say that. In the beginning, you're like, wait, what? What am I supposed to do? But you want to just roll it up just kind of like a candy cane. And then just snake roll it. All these new cooking terms that I'm using. And then one thing I did want to mention too, this end right here, just kind of try and tuck it in a little bit, like underneath. You don't want it like coming undone while it's baking. You want to work quickly with the dough as fast as you can, just because it starts to tack up a little bit and get a little bit stickier once it's been out of the fridge for a little while. Next, we're going to transfer all of our pastries to a cookie sheet. I'm using a Silpat, but you can definitely just line it with parchment paper too, just to make sure it doesn't stick. Usually these are pretty good about not sticking, but we are just gonna use some extra caution just in case. And you should be able to fit 8 on one cookie sheet. You just have to spread them out the best you can. Once you get them on the cookie sheet, you can use a spoon to just kind of dig down a little bit deeper. They a lot of times like to like fluff up after I press them down with my thumb. Next, you're gonna add just about a tablespoon of filling into each Danish. Next, we're gonna use that egg whitewash that we talked about, and we're only gonna use a little bit of this. It just gives us like a little extra golden flakiness around these. And I'm just touching the outside edges. I'm not getting the filling, just a little bit. This is also gonna help because we're gonna add on some cinnamon and sugar after, and it kind of helps it stick to the actual dough. Next, you're just gonna take about a pinch of cinnamon and sugar and just run it right around the outside edges. These turned out so cute. I'm gonna pop them in the oven for about 15 to 20 minutes. You guys, I actually cleaned my oven this weekend and I WD-40'd it and it's still squeaking. Okay, so this is at 18 minutes and these look perfect to me. So I'm gonna go ahead and just pull them out of the oven and just allow them to cool a little bit. I'm so excited on how these turned out. They look so good. I did wanna mention, if you wanna do like a drizzle of frosting over the top, all you have to do is whip up like a cup of powdered sugar with a tablespoon or 2 of milk or water. I don't like to do that. I just think it's like perfect as it is. And I like the cinnamon and sugar on the outside, so I don't think it needs any more sweetness, but it's totally up to you. That's it, we're all done with these cheese danishes made from Crescent Rolls. I hope you guys make this one for the holidays, for Thanksgiving or Christmas. It's so easy, so yummy. If you love this breakfast idea, make sure you check out my brioche French toast casserole. It is so good and it only takes 5 minutes to prep. It's always a huge crowd favorite. Make sure to subscribe and like this video, and I will see you next week. Bye. These are so good. That vanilla custard in the center, so yummy.